Alright, it's good to see everybody. Deer season just ended here a couple weeks ago. With deer season wrapping up, it's time to start thinking about shed hunting and some scouting, but it's never too early to start thinking about next fall and some of those deer hunting trips that you might have planned or hoping to plan. So today, I'm going to do a financial breakdown of a do-it-yourself out-of-state archery trip that we do every year, and it's a trip we call the Buck in the Truck Tour. So I'll just kind of go over a few basic parameters of the trip, share a little bit about my personal success there. So then we'll do a financial breakdown of the four major categories of the trip, which would include licensing, lodging, gas, and tolls if they're included, and food. And then at the end, I'll just briefly talk about some more of the Buck in the Truck Tour, its history, and what we look forward to moving forward. So, for starters, we started the Buck in the Truck Tour sometime back in 2015 or 2016, I believe, and we just have had a blast going out. Early on, we struggled. We barely saw deer. We just struggled to put ourselves in good situations, but we challenged and learned and started to find new spots, started to scout, learn how to scout, and figure out how to put ourselves on buck. So each year got better and better, and then in 2019 I was finally able to put a buck down, and by no means is it a huge buck for Ohio, but it was a buck I was very proud of at the time. I had been out of state. I believe this was my 6th trip out of state before I was able to put that buck down. So you just can't get discouraged. You just got to keep at it, and eventually you'll be able to learn more and just put it together. And then 2020, the following year, I was fortunate enough to be hunting in the exact same spot that I had shot the buck in 2019, and I was able to put this pretty solid 10-point down the first morning that we were out there. And so if you're unfamiliar with the Buck in the Truck Tour, the 2019, 2020, and 2021 editions are all on our channel, so you can check those out. But for the sake of this financial breakdown, I'm going to be breaking down 2021. We spend about the same each year, but in 2021 was the first time that I actually kept track of each category. We're primarily a group of guys from eastern Pennsylvania, the eastern third. And so for the sake of the breakdown, we're going to say 400 miles one way, give or take 50. I'm not going to give the exact mileage because if you knew where I live, then you can pretty much pinpoint exactly where I hunt. And so everything's public, so everyone's entitled to go wherever, but I don't want to see your truck parked where I'm trying to park my truck. The first category of the financial breakdown would be the licensing. And so each state is obviously different. Some states are a little more, some states are a little less. The states that tend to be a little more tend to have a little better deer hunting. That's kind of why they can get away with charging more. Not necessarily in every situation, but the Ohio non-resident cost is $180.96 for your license, and then you need a deer permit on top of that, which would be $76.96, which brings your total out to $257.92. And that is obviously a cost it's a given. There's no way around it. There's no discount. And obviously, like I said, each state's different. If you're a non-resident coming into Pennsylvania to archery hunt for deer, you would end up spending $128.94. So that's just a brief comparison, but I would say the quality of deer differs, especially from where we live compared to where we hunt in Ohio. But, to each his own. The second category of the trip would be lodging. So what we've done in the past and continue to do is go to a campground and rent small cabins And so each cabin can hold up to 4 guys. So we split the cost of that cabin through 4 guys. And we end up staying 4 nights. So the trip is about 4 to 5 days, depending on weather and success rate. So you basically kind of cover 1 night rent and then rotate that around. So my total cost on this trip was $105. Obviously, there's ways to make it cheaper, ways to make that more expensive. It's just something that we feel is relatively cheap and serves our needs and provides everything we're looking for. The next category would be gas and tolls. So on this particular trip, I went out with one buddy, so we split everything right down the middle. Previous years, we've gone out 3 or 4 in a truck, and that obviously breaks down the gas costs a little bit more. We decided that we were going to go the turnpike, so we had toll bills included going out and coming back. We just decided the time that we saved was worth the money in the tolls, because the time going out and the time coming back, we were able to sleep more before the hunt and sleep more before going to work the next day. So I spent $128.60. And the gas cost obviously fluctuates year to year depending on, economy and other world situations. The last category is food. So in this particular trip, I spent $65 on food. This is the category that you could eat peanut butter and jellies the whole time, or you could eat more luxurious. What we did for the dinners was, let's say there's four guys in a cabin, there's 4 evening meals, each guy takes a meal, so it's just the cost of that meal, and then you're in charge for groceries for lunches, breakfast, whatever you want to do. On this particular trip, I had a meal going out on the drive coming back, and I also got a pizza, which I snacked on in the tree stand, snacked on just throughout the first couple days, just because I really enjoy and love cold pizza. On the entire trip, I spent $556.52. And so if you look at each category broken down, licensing comes out to 46%, lodging 19%, gas and tolls would be 23%, and the food would be 12%. So I spent $556.52, and to me, it was worth every dollar. It's just a trip that we just have so much fun together, hunting with good buddies, high quality deer hunting, big deer, and it's challenging. Hunting new areas, hunting public land, it's a blast, and it really challenges you to grow as a hunter, just to learn how to scout, learn how to read maps. So I just highly recommend getting some buddies together and picking a state. Doesn't necessarily have to be Ohio or the state next to you. You could go 2 states, 3 states, and just find a nice piece of public and start trying to learn. The buck in the truck tour is just fun because it's that camp feel. We just go out individually, come back, tell stories. We help drag each other's deer out, and we've just been able to see the progress that we've had over the years. We started out hardly seeing any deer. Year after year, we'd see more and more deer. Finally, someone was able to shoot a decent buck, and then each year we just got into them more and more. Like my personal story would be 2017. The only buck I had in range was a spike buck. The next year, I ended up missing a 2-year-old buck. Next year, finally was able to be successful. Next year, got an even bigger buck. The next year, saw an as big or even bigger buck. So it's just been a continual process and just continual growth of learning, finding new spots, and just understanding how deer move and how you become a better hunter, and also make some incredible memories with some good friends. So we appreciate you guys following along in this video. We appreciate you guys subscribe, and also if you haven't, check out the Buck and the Truck Tour videos, and then you can kind of get a better feel of what exactly we're breaking down here. And we just look forward to many more trips to Ohio, and hope that this video helps you be successful, find a new area, and get into some big bucks. We appreciate you guys watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.